Now last time we focused on how we convert between fractions and percentages. Today we're going to take a look at converting between a percentage to a decimal and from a decimal back to a percentage. So let's begin. Now at the start of the last video, I introduced this chart to you, which is a summary of how we convert between fractions, percentages and decimals. As you can see, I've filled out how we convert between fractions to percentages and percentages to fractions. Today we're going to focus on this section of the chart, which is starting at a percentage and converting to a decimal, or starting at a decimal and converting back to a percentage. So let's begin today where we've got a percentage and we want to convert it to a decimal. Now you might remember that the word percent means for every 100 or out of 100. So that means that 80% is the same as saying 80 out of 100. Now this means that we've got 80 divided by 100. So we take the decimal place that's after the zero here and we move it 2 spots back to the left. So that is going to be the same as 0.8. So what this means is the decimal equivalent of 80% is 0.8. And I can find this by moving the decimal place of 80 2 spots to the left because I need to divide by 100. So what if I've got a percentage that's more than 100%, such as 520%? Well, I still start with my 520% and I need to divide it by 100. Remember that dividing by 100 is the same as moving the decimal place that exists after the zero here 2 spots to the left, which will equal 5.2. So the equivalent decimal of 520% is 5.2. Okay, so that's great if our percentage is a whole number. But what if our percentage is a decimal percentage? Well, to convert it, we still need to divide by 100. So this is going to be equal to 67.7 divided by 100, which is the same as moving this decimal place 2 spots here to the left. So our decimal is going to be equivalent to 0.677. So the decimal equivalent of 67.7% is 0.677. Okay, so let's have a look at another example. What if I've got 3.86%? Well, to convert it, I need to take the percentage of 3.86 and divide it by 100. Now when we divide by 100, we need to move the decimal place 2 spots to the left. And we've got to remember that there's a 0 that we don't write in front of this 3. So that's going to be the equivalent to 0.0386. So the decimal equivalent of 3.86% is 0.0386. Okay, so let's revise. If I've got a percentage and I want to convert it to a decimal, what I simply do is I divide by 100. So that's great. But what if I want to go the other way around? Well, to convert from a decimal to a percentage, we've got to do the opposite to what we were just doing. Now, we were just dividing by 100. So what that means is we've got to multiply by 100. So 0.3 as a percentage is going to be 0.3 times 100. Or moving the decimal spot back 2 spots to the right. Keeping in mind that there is a 0 here that exists. So our answer for 0.3 as a percentage is 30%. So over here, if we want to convert this decimal to a percentage, we simply take the decimal of 0.677 and multiply by 100, or move the decimal place 2 spots to the right. So that is equal to 67.7%. So the equivalent percentage of 0.677 is a decimal percentage, or 67.7%. Alright, so that's nice and easy if we've got decimals. What if we've got a whole number here, such as the number 3? Well, I still follow the same steps. If I want to represent 3 as a percentage, I need to multiply 3 by 100. Or I need to move the decimal place that exists after the 3 2 spots to the right. Keep in mind that there's 2 zeros that exist here. So that is equal to 300%. So the equivalent of 3 as a percentage is 300%. Alright, so let's take a look at one more. What if I've got 4.25 and I want to represent that as a percentage? Well, I take the 4.25 and I multiply it by 100, or move the decimal place 2 spots to the right. So that is going to be equal to 425%. So to summarize this, if we're starting over here at a decimal and we're converting our way to a percentage, we've got to do the opposite of what we did when we were going from a percentage to a decimal, which is going to be multiplying by 100. So let's revise it all. When we start at a decimal and we want to move it to a percentage, we multiply by 100, which is the same as moving the decimal place 2 spots to the right. If we start at a percentage and we want to move it to a decimal, we divide by 100, which is the same as moving that decimal place 2 spots to the left. So now it's your turn to give it a go. In front of me are some practice problems for you to try at home.